Many of my videos help men figure out what they should do on a date and the characteristics that women are looking for. So today I thought it would be fun to flip the script and tell you some green flags that you should look for in a woman when dating. All 6 of these tips will help you find out when a woman is right for you. The first green flag you should look for when dating is if she's well presented. If you watch my channel, you're likely in a small minority of men who care about their appearance, their clothes, grooming, and fragrance. So why would you settle to be with somebody who doesn't have the same personal standards? After all, if you've made the effort to organize the date, pick out the restaurant, and of course, pay the bill, then her appearance is a sign of her appreciation. Now, what particular style of clothing she should wear is totally down to your personal preference. Personally, I like a more classically feminine appearance. You might be open to a different aesthetic. Remember, effort can take many different forms. But don't feel bad about deciding that a lady doesn't meet your requirements for physical appearance. I have never gone on a second date with a woman who turned up to the first date wearing jeans. And it's not because I have a problem with women wearing jeans, it's just that I wouldn't turn up to a first date wearing jeans. I would dress in a way that demonstrates more effort and more consideration. So why would I be with somebody who doesn't have the same standards? So remember this, gentlemen, as you're facing her across the table. Has she dressed appropriately? Has she done her hair and makeup to a level that you like? Is she wearing a fragrance? These are all judgments that she's making about you, so don't feel bad to make them about her. On a first date, you should give the lady your full attention and not be distracted by your phone or anything else that's going on around you. And in return, you should expect the same levels of attention. It doesn't matter how late into the date it gets. If she starts going on her phone for more than just a second to check something, that's a really bad sign and the date is likely going downhill. And you'll maybe never know if she's just a scrolling addict or you've really bored her to death, but either way, this date is going nowhere fast. On the other hand, if she's making strong eye contact, listening closely, and asking follow-up questions, that's a great sign she is engaged and interested. When I think about the best dates I've ever been on, the conversation has been so engrossing that the food has seemed like an unnecessary distraction. So a lady who is present and interesting and stimulating to talk to, it's a major green flag. Perhaps the biggest indicator that a woman will be a good partner for you is if she has good relationships in her life already. I'm talking about her relationships with her family, with her friends, and with people at work. Building and maintaining relationships requires good communication skills, boundary setting, and empathy. And if she has these positive traits in abundance, it's much more likely she will be a healthy partner for you. Although having a great relationship with her father might be a green flag, if she doesn't, don't be too quick to judge or to assume. There might be a legitimate reason why she's no longer close with her father, and it's likely you won't get to the bottom of that on a first date. Instead, I would take a broader view of the different relationships she has with all people in her family, friendship group, and work. On a date, you will inevitably begin to discuss plans and hopes for the future. Even if you don't discuss this directly by asking what your plans are for the next year, 5 years, you should develop some sense of whether or not your goals for the future are aligned. Now, I can't tell you what those goals should be. Maybe you want to start a family. Maybe you want to travel the world. Maybe you're going to focus on your career or business. But you need to find out if this lady in question is interested in doing the same things as you long term. Because if you aren't on the same track, it's very unwise to invest in a relationship with her. These differences will inevitably cause major conflict or resentment in the future. But bear in mind, not everybody has a crystal clear idea of where their future is headed. So if you do have a strong connection with somebody who seems to be destined for a different path to you, be open to the possibility that you may plan a new future together. If there is one character trait every man is looking for in a woman, I believe that character trait is empathy. Every good girlfriend, wife, and mother needs to have empathy for her man for their children, and for their extended family. So during a date, listen for demonstrations of empathy as she tells you about her life. When my previous girlfriend and I began dating, she told me she was a midwife, and just that one career choice told me so many positive traits about her. She may reveal her empathy in the way she talks about her family, a cause that's important to her, or the way she reacts to you sharing something vulnerable. Also, notice how she treats the waitstaff, particularly if something goes wrong. Does she politely ask you to tell the waiter, or does she make a big fuss and act rudely? Personally, I actually like it when something goes a little bit wrong during the early stages of dating, because it tells you who they really are. When I lived in LA, I dated this girl for a few weeks, whom I suspected was a little bit of a firecracker, and one time we'd been to the shopping mall and came back to the multi-story car park, and I just couldn't find my car. Maybe it's happened to you as well. We were looking for my car for about 30 minutes, and I was expecting that any moment now she was going to freak out and cause a scene. But she never did. She stayed cool, calm, and helpful. And that told me a lot of positive qualities about her that I hadn't expected to see. My final green flag that you should look for during the early stages of dating is if she communicates well. Even before the first date, when you're still texting to organize the time and place, it's a huge green flag if she responds in a timely manner and communicates effectively. If she takes hours to reply or is difficult to pin down, chances are she's just not that excited about your date. After the first date, see how she responds to your follow-up messages and your attempts to plan a second date. If she says she's unavailable but doesn't offer an alternative time or make an effort to get that second date on the books, you're probably just wasting your time. Many women simply don't have the courage to say, "I don't want to see you again," so you will have to analyze her communication style to gauge her interest. However, with the right woman, there will be no need to play such games. You can both communicate like adults and look forward to those upcoming dates. Gentlemen, I've told you my 6 green flags when dating, so now it's time for you to head to the comments and tell me one of yours. What is one thing you always look for when dating that tells you she might be your ideal woman? Thank you for watching, and I look forward to reading your responses in the comments.